Good Tuesday morning, Catalina Foothills Church. Hope you're having a good week. We're in the midst of a bunch of 100-degree plus days. So be wise and enjoy. And hey, this is why we live here. So we're talking about in Romans chapter 14 this week, the power of the gospel to free individual Christians to trust other individual Christians to the Lord. In other words, I'm not responsible for you. You're not responsible for me. We are both responsible to God, and we have to live out our following of God before Him and in our conscience. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't influence one another. There's a difference in you influencing me than me being responsible for you and your decisions. Well, here's the way Paul says it in Romans 14. Because what he's fighting for is this. He's fighting for a vision that the gospel has so secured the individual Christian in their place with God that now they're free not to try to build their own righteousness or feel good about themselves because they're more disciplined than, they avoid sins that their neighbors commit. All that's out the window. The idea is once we know that God has forgiven us in Christ, now I'm free to follow God as His Spirit leads me, and I can trust Him that He's leading you as well. Romans chapter 14. As for the one who is weak in faith, welcome him, but not to quarrel over opinions. One person believes he may eat anything, while the weak person eats only vegetables. Let not the one who eats despise the one who abstains, and let not the one who abstains pass judgment on the one who eats, for God has welcomed them both. Who are you to pass judgment on the servant of another? Who are you? Who am I? No, it's before his own master that he stands or falls, and he will be upheld, for the Lord is able to make him stand. One person contains one day is better than another, while another esteems all days alike. Each one should be fully convinced in his own mind. And we'll talk more about this, but you hear Paul going on and again. He's saying, work it out before God where you stand on a certain issue, and then give your brother or sister the freedom for God to work it out with them. It is an amazingly challenging idea because he's saying, who are you, Rob, to judge that other Christian? By implication, the answer is, I'm not the judge. God alone is the judge. And so it's challenging because I like judging people. Maybe you do too. But then it's also quite envisioning of what would it look like for us to trust one another to God's Spirit to shape them. So that's what we'll talk about Sunday, Romans chapter 14. Have a good day.